Hello dear viewers, welcome to this latest edition of the news here on Rwanda Television with me, Serge Nore. As always, we'll begin with the headlines. Rwanda and the DRC have signed a peace agreement. The leadership of the Rwanda Association of Insurers has noted that the insurance sector in the country has continued to grow, although there are still challenges that need to be addressed. And on the international scene, at least 20 people have died in flash floods across Pakistan as the country begins its annual monsoon season. Now let's go straight to the details. In Washington, D.C., a peace agreement has officially been signed and ratified between the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda. Rwanda's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Olivier Nduhungirehe, has stated that the agreement signed will primarily focus on the complete dismantling of the FDLR rebel group, which has long been a major concern for peace and security in the region. On her part, the DRC's Minister of Foreign Affairs said the agreement marks a new chapter, emphasizing that peace is not merely a choice, but also a national obligation for the DRC. The U.S. Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, Marco Rubio, commended both parties involved in the agreement, with special appreciation extended to the state of Qatar for its contribution. He has also noted that the agreement is a crucial step toward ending the instability that has plagued the eastern DRC for more than 30 years.
This could not have happened without such close friends and partners in the African Union and in Qatar, who we're working a lot lately with Qatar. We're doing a lot of things with you guys, and you've been very instrumental in the African Union. Without you, this couldn't have happened. I mean, you may put everybody together. I do want to recognize my what I say, former colleagues. It wasn't 6 months ago, I was still a senator, but they're here now, Senators Rounds and Risch. Senator Risch is the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee and a very close friend of mine, and he's obviously watched this issue very closely. He's made it a priority. And Senator Rounds, who's been talking to me about this before I was even nominated to the position and even during the nomination process. And we have others who are not able to make it today that I also want to recognize, Senator Coons and Booker. There's been a lot of interest in this, and we're grateful to all of them. They were invited, but I guess, you know, there's stuff going on in the Senate, as you know. And but we're grateful that both of you are here, and it's instrumental. This is, you know, an important moment after 30 years of war. President Trump is a president of peace. He really does want peace. He prioritizes it above all else. We saw his intervention in the conflict between India and Pakistan. We saw his intervention most recently as a few days ago in a very dangerous war, right? A very dangerous war that could have really spiraled out of control, and his intervention made that possible. And there are other places that we want to see this, but we're very excited about this, and we can't wait to have the heads of state, the presidents of the respective countries here in Washington in a few weeks to finalize the complete protocol and agreement. But today is an important step in that direction, and we're grateful to be able to host it here at the Department of State. And just thinking, you know, we think sometimes about peace. It's not just about ending wars. It's about, and it's not just about saving lives. It's about allowing people to live. It's about allowing people to now have dreams and hopes for a better life, for prosperity, for economic opportunity, for a family reunification, for all the things that make life worth living. Those things become impossible when there's war and when there's conflict. So we're grateful to have played the role we've played. We acknowledge and recognize there's still more work to be done. But we thank you all very much for being a part of this historic and important day. This is really why I wanted this job, or why I embraced this job so much, is moments like this. This is, in essence, the Department of State is really the Department of Peace. It's designed to bring people together, both in our relations with other countries, but to the extent we can use the stature and the influence of the United States to bring others together. It makes the world a better place. And I honestly believe that when there's peace in the world among friends who may have disagreements and conflict, it does help America. It does help make America stronger and safer and more prosperous. It gives us people, partners we can do business with. And partners that we can work with to address insecurity and threats to our national security and to our collective national security. So we are grateful to both of you. I know how hard this was and how much work went into it, and we know there's more work to be done.
Now, as noted earlier, Rwanda's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Olivier Nduhungirehe, stated that the agreement signed will primarily focus on the complete dismantling of the FDLR rebel group, which has long been a major concern for peace and security in the region.
The heart of this peace agreement is the decision to establish a standing joint security coordination mechanism between DRC and Rwanda. The first order of business is to begin implementing of the concept of operations for the neutralization of the FDLR, to be accompanied by a lifting of Rwanda's defensive measures. This is grounded in the commitment made here for an irreversible and verifiable end to state support for FDLR and associated militias. That is the bedrock of peace and security in our region. FDLR is no ordinary militia. It is the remnant of the forces which committed the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994, in which 1 million people were killed. With this agreement, we also committed to facilitate the return of refugees in our respective territories with the support of the UNHCR. Creating the conditions for the safe and dignified return of refugees is vital to achieve lasting peace.
Now, moving on to other matters, the management of Inyanja Industries has announced that in the near future, the powdered milk produced by the factory will be made widely available to all Rwandans who need it, including in small retail shops across the country. This announcement comes as Inyanja has signed a partnership agreement with Africa Improved Foods, a company known for producing nutritional foods mainly targeting child growth and maternal health. Under this partnership, the company will begin sourcing powdered milk from Inyanja. It has been nearly a year since Inyanja's powdered milk processing plant in Nyagatare district began operations. Local dairy farmers, especially in Nyagatare, are celebrating as the plant has created a stable and large market for their milk. Currently, the factory has the capacity to process 40 tons of powdered milk per day, though this depends on market demand. In addition to international exports, the factory has begun supplying large hotels and food processing companies within Rwanda. Africa Improved Foods is among the key clients that have already entered into a purchasing agreement with Inyanja. The CEO of the company, that is Abraham Madai, has emphasized that this powdered milk is rich in essential nutrients that help children fight malnutrition and stunting.
And the reason why we add that milk powder is that gives the additional protein that is needed for children at that age, for growing without having stunting or malnutrition. It's a very, very important ingredient.
It is expected that Africa Improved Foods products enriched with Inyanja's powdered milk will be distributed in schools and among low-income families. Inyanja's powdered milk is currently exported to countries such as Tanzania, Kenya, Ghana, Turkey, Syria, and Oman. The product is typically packaged in large 25-kilogram bags. However, the CEO of Inyanja, that is James Kagawa, has confirmed that in the coming days, the powdered milk will also be made available to the general public through small retail outlets, as we noted earlier. So far, the factory has secured over 10 domestic clients, mostly large companies and hotels. Nevertheless, the company is still seeking more partners as the current production remains low due to limited market size. Now, Rwanda is developing a 10-year national insurance strategic plan sponsored by Africa Re, focused on strengthening the insurance sector here in the country. We have the details with William Evans Mutabazi.
Rwanda is quickly advancing with strong policy support and tech-driven expansions to strengthen the insurance sector. According to the chairman of the Rwanda Insurance Association, Rwandan insurers have plans to more than double their current penetration rate to more than 4% of the GDP. With Rwanda's insurance penetration rate below 2% currently, the National Insurance Strategic Plan will boost this sector's growth by focusing on inclusive insurance, market innovations, and regulatory reforms, among others.
When you look at our ambitious plan as insurers, we're looking at more than doubling our current insurance penetration from 1.9% of the GDP to more than 4% of the GDP in the next 10 years. For us to do that, we need strong partners like Africa Re. Having chosen to host this AGM in Rwanda is a pride for us all. And we can achieve that ambitious plan without looking at new areas we need to operate in. Currently, we have no more products for insurance. We need to think through, with the help of partners like Africa Re, on the different ways we can penetrate the market through digital platforms, through innovation, through diversification of products, but also reaching out the underserved market. From ASAL, we are very proud to partner with Africa Re for us to be able to penetrate the insurance market in Rwanda with new products and new channels and platforms.
The chairman of Africa Re says with this plan in place, Rwanda's insurance sector will see growth up to 5% of the GDP.
We're closely working with the National Bank of Rwanda and the Insurance Association to make sure that the strategic plan that has been put in place last month is implemented in terms of milestone, so that in the next few years to come, the insurance sector should start growing as fast as possible. We view that the penetration rate is below 2% currently, but the objective is to move it to 5% very quickly.
The National Insurance Strategic Plan, according to the Governor of the Central Bank, Solaya Hakuziyaremye, is one of the most important outcomes of the collaboration between Rwanda and Africa Re.
One of the most important outcomes of the collaboration between Rwanda and Africa Re is the 10-year national insurance strategy being designed that was sponsored by Africa Re, with collaboration from the National Bank of Rwanda again and the Ministry of Finance, as well as the Association of Rwanda's Insurers, ASAR. This strategy will provide a forward-looking roadmap focused on inclusive insurance, market innovation, regulatory reform.
In the first quarter of 2025, the Central Bank of Rwanda reported that financial institutions' assets grew by 23.2% to 13.6 trillion Rwandan francs, with banks contributing 23.3%, pension 23.0%, microfinance institutions 20.6%, while insurance contributed only 18.1%. With the National Insurance Strategic Plan in place, the insurance sector will grow its contribution and also increase its reach and penetration. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
Farmers and livestock keepers across various districts in the southern province have increasingly turned to insuring their crops and animals through the government-backed initiative Tekana Urishingiwe Muhinzi Mworozi. They say the program provides crucial support in times of disaster-related losses. Their testimonies came during an event where the insurance company Sonarwa distributed over 56 million Rwandan francs in compensation to insured farmers and the livestock owners from the southern province who had recently incurred losses. Farmers often face challenges caused by unpredictable weather patterns. Heavy rains can destroy crops, while extreme drought can severely reduce harvests. These losses have historically left many vulnerable. However, since the launch of the Tekana program, farmers say they are beginning to see solutions to these long-standing problems. Since the program began, that is back in 2019, the number of farmers and livestock keepers purchasing agricultural and livestock insurance has steadily increased. The growth is attributed to participation to active mobilization, particularly among cooperatives, farming in reclaimed marshlands, and to policies requiring that cows distributed through the government's Njirinka program come insured. Despite the progress, local officials stress the need to further strengthen and expand the program, with the leaders noting that many farmers still remain uninsured. Since the start of the agricultural and livestock insurance program, Sonarwa has paid out over 1.6 billion francs to cover various losses suffered by its insured farming clients. Now, low-income residents in Kayonza district have expressed joy over improvements in their lives after receiving cows and health insurance coverage. This was during an event where 32 families were given cows and health insurance for the upcoming year of 2025-2026, that is the fiscal year. Some of the beneficiaries expressed gratitude for the cows, while others appreciated the health insurance support, describing these initiatives as a strong foundation for improving their overall well-being. The support was made possible through a partnership with Arashami Energy Rwanda Limited, a petroleum products company. Its country manager, that is Didas Shimimana, emphasized that uplifting community livelihoods is one of their core objectives.
Whatever we do, we integrate our business into the communities where we are working in. This year, we are giving 15 cows through the Girinka program to the 15 households so that we contribute to the welfare of them. You understand, by providing a cow, the cow will give milk to support the children of the family. With the cow, the farming becomes profitable because the one who's doing farming will be access to fertilizer. So that's why we decided now to intervene under the two sectors of area, giving a program, but also giving health insurance to people who are not able to contribute themselves to health access.
The Vice Mayor in charge of social affairs in Kayonza district, that is Jean Damascene Harerimana, expressed satisfaction with the district's progress in meeting its livestock distribution target under the Girinka program. In terms of community-based health insurance, that is Mutuelle de Santé, the district reported reaching a coverage rate of 90.7% in the current fiscal year. For the upcoming fiscal year, contribution payments have already reached 50.4%. Now, parents of children with multiple disabilities, that is being deaf, mute and blind, are calling for the establishment of schools that teach the children tactile sign language. They say the lack of such schools leaves their children in isolation. They made this appeal on Friday during the commemoration of the International Day of Deafblindness. The day, which is marked every year internationally, aims to continue advocacy for the rights of persons with combined disabilities, especially those who are deafblind. It is also a reminder to society that ensuring access to basic services for them is a shared responsibility. The Rwanda Organization of Persons with Deafblindness has stated that there are over 700 individuals in the country with this type of disability. Globally, the World Federation of the Deafblind estimates that more than 70 million people have deafblindness, with 80% of them living in developing countries. Overall, these individuals use more than 300 sign languages that help them to unite and socialize among themselves and with others who are willing to learn their language. Youth working in the companies Rwanda Form and Amajekwa have been urged to uphold unity and Rwandan cultural values while rejecting genocidal ideologies. This was during a commemoration event held to remember employees of the companies who were killed during the genocide against the Tutsi here in Rwanda. The youth emphasized that young people in particular must unite and stand firm against genocide denial and distortion. Claude Kaijuka, who represented the families of the former employees of Rwanda Form and Amajekwa killed during the genocide against the Tutsi, called on the youth working in the companies to continue striving for the development of the country. Those commemorated on Friday were employees of Rwanda Form and Amajekwa who were killed during the genocide against the Tutsi. As we noted, a total number of 29 victims have been identified so far. The Wellspring Foundation for Education has launched a campaign aimed at encouraging people to support quality education without relying on foreign aid. To kick off the campaign, participants undertook a 15-kilometer hike up Mount Jari, and organizers have expressed confidence that the initiative will yield positive results in the education sector.
Moments. Laying hooks. Giving away. Making moves. Breakfast with family. Inyanje is always there. Whatever the occasion, whatever the moment, always ask for Inyanje.
Nyiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo wagira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe, ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njya muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashije, ariko byarangiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abankomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye ziba impamo. Bigereho.
Muyobozi wa sosiyete, turakwibutsa ko buri sosiyete isabwa n'itegeko kubika ibitabo bya sosiyete ndetse no gushyikiriza RDB amakuru abikubiyemo. Ibyo bitabo birimo igitabo cy'abanyamigabane, icy'abagenewe inyungu ku migabane, inyandiko y'amakuru ya sosiyete, ibaruramari ngarukamwaka n'izindi. Gutanga amakuru y'ugenewe inyungu ku migabane wanyura kuri bo.rdb.rw, naho gutanga izindi nyandiko ukanyura kuri org.rdb.rw.
At least 20 people have died in flash floods across Pakistan as the country begins its annual monsoon season. Torrential rainfall has caused widespread damage, sweeping away homes and roads. Officials are warning that heavier than usual rains could bring further floods and landslides in the coming days. Pakistan is ranked among the top 5 countries most affected by climate change according to the Global Climate Risk Index, and continues to face worsening climate-related disasters. Al Jazeera with the details.
Rains ahead of monsoon season have already caused widespread damage across northern Pakistan. The sudden and heavy downpours turned the river Swat into a raging torrent. This family of 18 people, including children, were caught by surprise by a sudden surge of water. Onlookers could only watch helplessly as they were swept away one by one. Swat Valley is a popular summer destination that attracts thousands of tourists escaping scorching temperatures elsewhere in the country. Rescue teams have saved dozens of people, including tourists stranded across the country. The Meteorological Department has forecast heavy downpours over the next few weeks and has issued travel advisories, especially in the northern regions, due to the threat of landslides and flash floods. In 2022, Pakistan saw devastating floods that caused extensive damage to infrastructure worth billions of dollars and destroyed crops and homes in southern Punjab and Sindh province. The United Nations Secretary General called it a flood on steroids. with heavier than usual rains forecast this monsoon season. People here are hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. Kamal Haider, Al Jazeera, Islamabad.
Haiti is suffering from a severe healthcare crisis as violent armed groups have taken control of nearly 90% of Port-au-Prince. Amid the violence, the country's medical facilities are facing closures and the few remaining hospitals are struggling to cope with the rising demand for their care. With limited resources and growing insecurity, healthcare workers are forced to operate under constant threat. Al Jazeera once more.
The only way to get into Port-au-Prince right now is by helicopter. 12 seats for a city of 2.5 million. All the access roads are taken by armed groups. They're suffocating Haiti's capital and waging war on the police within it. The fighting's decimated the country's health system. Most hospitals have been forced to close. We've been given access to spend a week in one of the few remaining ones. It's called Tabar. It's run by Doctors Without Borders. And it's never short of patients. There's a constant stream of cases here. We've got a woman with a stray bullet that went in for a roof and got lodged in her arm. Another young boy who's having the wound cleaned when he was shot straight through his leg. And it's just past 8 a.m. when the latest patients, Chrisman and her cousin Jean-Claude, are brought in. Her foot's hanging by a thread. In the night, gunmen broke into their house and shot both of them. She's a maid. He's a security guard. To outsiders, it's hard to fathom why armed groups would attack them. But this has become common in Haiti's capital. The armed groups often shoot at people to get them out of their houses so they can take them and expand their territory. They now control more than 80% of Port-au-Prince.
Things weren't always like this before. The situation has degenerated so much. It's everywhere. Everywhere's the same.
The morning goes on. Chrisman's relatives arrive. But the doctors have bad news. Her foot needs to be amputated, and she needs to be operated on immediately. Afterwards, she worries about where she'll work and live.
With my leg like this, if I don't get a prosthetic to help me to work, my job is basically over for me. I'm really vulnerable because I don't really have a place to stay.
There are over 1 million people in Haiti who've already had to flee their homes. Now Jean-Claude and Chrisman are among them. He wonders what's next for him and his country.
I can't see how or when this is going to end. I would like it to end.
If you could talk to the gunmen that shot you, what would you tell them?
I wish that they would come to realize that their guns might turn against them tomorrow, that everywhere they go, it's their sisters, their brothers, their cousins that they're killing.
With an ever-dwindling number of hospitals here to pick up the pieces. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Port-au-Prince.
Now, before we go, let us again take a look at the headlines. Rwanda and the DRC have signed a peace agreement. The leadership of the Rwanda Association of Insurers has noted that the insurance sector in the country has continued to grow, although there are still challenges that need to be addressed. And on the international scene, at least 20 people have died in flash floods across Pakistan as the country begins its annual monsoon season. We appreciate you taking the time to join us for this edition. Stay with Rwanda Television as the programs continue. I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye.